Hello, I'm Matt Florjancic of the WKYC digital team. In recent years, we have seen a renaissance of Cleveland arts and Playhouse Square, and today we look at the renovation and restoration of the Ohio Theater lobby.
From the chandelier at 14th and Euclid to the marquees and arches that welcome patrons downtown, the revitalization of Playhouse Square has been a long time in the making. But there was one final piece needed to complete this puzzle, and that piece is the lobby of the Ohio Theater. The Ohio Theater was ravaged by a fire in 1964. Although the auditorium was salvaged, the lobby was a complete loss. Gone were the murals, ornamental ceiling, columns, and fireplaces, and there weren't enough resources to undertake a full restoration, so the theater was given a more modern look in the 1980s. However, through a gift from the Gordon Gunn Foundation and countless hours of research, work began on the full renovation in July of 2015.
Starting last summer, we took everything out that we had put in, bathrooms and a little foyer lobby and everything else, and gutted it back to the walls, back to the brick, back to the underside of the roof, and literally recreated everything.
The plaster sculpting took 8,500 hours, and the 30 by 10 foot murals were created by 6 artists in New York City. With the final piece in place, Playhouse Square's puzzle is complete. And what a picture it is. For WKYC, I'm Matt Florjancic. Hello everyone, I'm Matt Florjancic of the WKYC digital team outside of Quicken Loans Arena in downtown Cleveland. The Q has become the home of champions in 2016 as the Cleveland Cavaliers and Lake Erie Monsters both brought home respective league championships. But tonight, there's going to be another champion that calls the Q home, and his name is Stipe Miocic.
My mindset is I'm going to smash him. I'm not giving up that belt. I worked too hard to get it, and I'm not letting anyone take that away from me. Especially beat me in Cleveland, no way. I want that belt. I got it, and now I'm going to keep it. I don't want to let go of it.
Although Miocic wants to finish the fight quickly, he is not looking past Overeem. Miocic is well aware of the fact that Overeem is on a 4-fight winning streak with victories over former UFC champions in Andrei Arlovski and Junior Dos Santos.
He's a good fighter. He's a great fighter. He's fought the best in the world. One of the best fighters of all time. He's good on his, his feet. Good kickboxer. He's got good hands. He's putting people down. He's on a good win streak right now. But I just gotta watch it for everything. He's heavyweight, man. So anything can happen. You're wearing 4-ounce gloves. Be a quick night. So, which I plan on making it for him. I'm gonna get my hand raised and walk out with the belt still.
Knowing that everyone in the UFC heavyweight division is after his title, Miocic is not taking anything for granted. Rather, he's working tirelessly to hone his craft and sharpen his skills in order to successfully defend his championship.
I think when I'm retired, old and fat, I'll finally hit me being a champ. But listen, man, I'm just scratching the surface now. I know I won it, and listen, all I have to do is defend it. But listen, I'm here to turn heads and make a name for myself.
Miocic definitely made a name for himself when he won the UFC Heavyweight Championship with a first-round knockout of Fabricio Verdum in the main event of UFC 198 back in May. Miocic finished the fight after delivering a right hand to Verdum's jaw. That punch set in motion a run of success for Cleveland athletes as the Lake Erie Monsters swept their way to the Calder Cup Championship and the Cavaliers fought back from a 3-1 series deficit to beat the Golden State Warriors and win the NBA championship for the first time in franchise history. And Miocic plans on keeping the good times in Cleveland rolling on Saturday night.
I'm going to stop over in the first round. I'm going to drop him. I know I can knock him out. He's going to get knocked out. It's going to happen.
And once the title defense is complete, Miocic plans on celebrating the only way he knows how, with the people of Cleveland. For WKYC, I'm Matt Florjancic. December 7th, 1941, the day that will live in infamy. The thunder of war came to America's shores when the Japanese fleet launched a surprise attack on the U.S. naval base at Pearl Harbor in the early morning hours of that fateful Sunday. That attack changed everything in the United States as soldiers, sailors, Marines, and airmen were thrust into a multi-theater war that took men from every corner of the country and put them on the front lines of battle. And the after effects were felt everywhere, including the small village of Shreve, Ohio. Outside of Worcester and west of Canton, Shreve produced several service members during World War II, including Harold Wesley Plant, who went from working on cars at the local gas station to being a lead mechanic in the Army Air Corps from 1943 to 1945. At 17 years old, Plant was informed of the Pearl Harbor attack by the very woman who later became his wife.
And they said, well, they attacked at Pearl Harbor. I said, what? Yeah, they said, turn the news on. So I turned on the radio, and that's the first I'd heard it. And
in June of 1943, Platt answered the call to serve his country and reported to basic training on Miami Beach. Stationed out of a hotel, Platt trained with thousands of soldiers in the summer heat and then was shipped off to airplane mechanic school for several months. Following the training, Platt was sent to the Asiatic Pacific Front to work on B-24 bombers with the 4th Photo Reconnaissance Division.
And you're responsible for talking to the pilots or reading their notes of what was wrong, what needed to be checked on the plane for the next mission. And you had to check that and find what the problem was and repair it and approve it. And it was your responsibility if you approved it. You said that was correct and it's okay to take the plane in on another mission.
Not only were Platt and his men preparing for war against the Japanese, but they also had to deal with the elements, as a massive typhoon blew through Buckner Bay and left in its wake wreckage of ships and tent cities that housed the soldiers.
Ships were blown over from one side of the bay to the other and rocking, and a lot of them, of course, went down. Ships went down during that typhoon. And from then on, we would sleep in the plane at daytime, at night, and we'd have to get out of there and get our luggage out of there and set it on the ground. And they'd fly the mission, and when they come back, then we'd work.
But through all the challenges, the American servicemen persevered, and it was while performing routine maintenance on a B-24 that Platt and his crew met General Jonathan Wainwright, who spent time in a Japanese POW camp before being freed.
And I was on the ground because guys were up above working, and come over to me and he said, just want to thank you for what you done for me. And he said, I'm General Wainwright. And he shook my hand. He said, thanks a lot. I said, well, indirectly, we really didn't do anything, you know. It's just everybody. He said, everybody did. Everybody helped me.
Platt was still in the Pacific when America made the decision to drop the atomic bomb on Hiroshima and later Nagasaki. And when he saw the photos of the devastation, Platt knew the war would be coming to an end.
And then that's when they talked about using more of them, and they were in the process of deciding whether they were going to use any more or not. But it so happened that converted some of the people, the Japanese, and them. They didn't want to fight us anymore, I think.
When the Japanese surrendered in the summer of 1945, Platt returned home to Shreve and married his beloved Winifred, with whom he spent 70 years together, building a family, including 3 children, 7 grandchildren, and 3 great-grandsons. For WKYC, I'm Matt Florjancic. Location, location, location. For more than 2 decades, the road to the Amos Alonzo Stag Bowl and the NCAA Division III Football Championship has run its way through Alliance, Ohio, and the University of Mount Union. But after losing to Ohio Athletic Conference rival John Carroll University in the final week of the regular season, the Mount Union Purple Raiders had to wait for an at-large bid into the tournament and will begin their quest for title number 13 away from home at Hobart College in Geneva, New York.
One of the words down in our locker room, kind of our mission statement of our program is hope, and we were hopeful that we'd get in, but certainly preparing ourselves for the worst case scenario as well. But we're just glad to get a shot, glad to keep playing. And
having won at least a share of the Ohio Athletic Conference title for every season since the mid-1990s, the Purple Raiders are used to claiming an automatic bid into the postseason tournament and running through opponents at home before a trip to Salem, Virginia for the Stag Bowl. However, after the loss to John Carroll, Mount Union will have to go on the road for its first true postseason away game since 1996.
Well, it's exciting. It's a very exciting time. We were on the bubble, didn't know, if we would get in or not, and had to wait it out there until they announced the selections.
Although the Purple Raiders entered the postseason on the heels of their first conference loss in more than a decade, they do so with the mindset that Saturday's game at Hobart is no different than any other they have played during the regular season.
We call that the grind, and really embracing the grind and doing the little things. And
the little things add up, and they usually lead to success on Saturdays, or giving yourself a chance to be successful at least.
And by doing those little things right, Karras is hopeful that the Purple Raiders will advance past Hobart and into the second round of the NCAA tournament. For WKYC Sports, I'm Matt Florjancic.